I've wasted countless hours trying to create consistent characters with AI, only to end up with a character that looks completely different in every single image. But here's the thing, it doesn't have to be this way. After testing dozens of AI tools and techniques, I finally found a solution that works consistently, and today I'm going to share it with you. But let me first explain the 5 biggest mistakes people make when trying to create consistent characters with AI. Understanding these mistakes will help you avoid them and save you a ton of time and frustration. First mistake most people make is forgetting to repeat key traits in their prompts. When you're generating a character, you need to be extremely specific about their appearance in every single prompt. For example, if your character has red curly hair, blue eyes, and is wearing a green dress, you need to mention all of these traits in every single prompt. If you forget to mention even one of these traits, the AI might completely change it. But here's where it gets tricky, because even if you do mention all these traits, the AI might still interpret them differently each time, because standard AI models don't have a memory of what your character looks like. Doing this will increase your chances a lot, but you shouldn't be expecting the AI to remember your character between prompts. Standard AI models don't have memory, so each generation is completely independent from the previous one. So even if you get a perfect generation of your character, the next generation will start from scratch. This is why people struggle so much with consistency. They're fighting against the fundamental limitations of how these models work. To combat this, many people try to use image-to-image tools to maintain consistency, but they either use too high or too low strength. If the strength is too high, the AI will completely change your character. And if it's too low, the AI won't be able to change the pose or scene while keeping your character consistent. Finding that perfect balance is incredibly difficult and requires a lot of trial and error. But even with the perfect settings, your results will still be inconsistent if you're not saving your character's seed. The seed is what determines the initial pattern that the AI uses to generate an image. If you use the same seed, you'll get more consistent results. But most people don't know this, or they forget to save their seeds, resulting in completely different characters each time. All of these technical aspects matter, but if you are using bad reference images, you will never get good results. Your reference images should be high resolution, front-facing, and well lit. If your reference images are blurry, have weird lighting, or shows your character from an unusual angle, the AI will struggle to understand what your character actually looks like. Now that you understand these mistakes, you can clearly see that generating consistent characters can be really troublesome. But what if I told you there's a way to bypass all these headaches completely? I've spent months testing different tools on the market, and I finally found the solution that actually works. You shouldn't need to be a technical expert just to create consistent characters. And with a tool called Openart, you don't have to manually repeat traits in every prompt, you don't need to track random seeds, and you don't have to struggle with finding the perfect image-to-image settings. Instead, Openart lets you create a persistent character that maintains its appearance across unlimited generations. Create it once, and it stays consistent no matter what scene, pose, or situation you put it in. And you can do this with just one reference image. That's right, no need to gather dozens of training images or spend hours fine-tuning a model. Just one good image is all it takes. Now let me walk you through the exact process of doing that with Openart. I'll leave a link in the description down below in case you want to follow along. After registering for the platform, you'll be directed to the home page. Now we've got 2 main sections here that you need to know about. First, we've got image creation, and then we've got storytelling mode. Under the storytelling mode, I'll click on consistent character. I've tested all of these, and I'm going to show you exactly how each one works. Option number 1 is creating a character using just a text description. It's literally as simple as writing out what you want your character to look like. Physical attributes, outfits, style, and basically anything you want to include. For example, I wrote, a young woman with long red curly hair, blue eyes, wearing a green dress, fantasy style, detailed, high quality. And look at what Openart created. This is looking very good. The second option, the one we're going to focus on today, is starting with a single reference image. I've been using this to create characters for my own content, and it saved me so much time. And then there's option 3, which is the usual approach, using multiple images to train a custom character. This is great if you have lots of reference material, like if you're trying to recreate a specific person or character. But you don't actually need this anymore for most use cases. For this video, I'll just go with the single image option. First, click on Start with one image under the character creation options. Now I've got this image of Kai, a mysterious cyberpunk hacker with a glowing visor and a long coat. But you can literally use any high quality image you want. It could be an AI generated image, a photo, or even artwork. Now click Create Character and wait a few minutes for the model to train. This is where Openart is creating a specialized model just for your character. After your character model is trained, you can start generating variations by simply selecting your character from the drop-down menu, entering a prompt describing the scene or pose you want, and clicking Generate. For example, I'll try Kai standing on a beach at sunset and Kai in a fighting pose with a sword. Openart generated images of Kai in these new scenes while maintaining their key features and appearance. If you're not familiar with prompting, don't worry. Openart has made it incredibly easy with their character templates. You can generate complete character sheets, action poses, or even place your character in different scenes with just one click. Now that you know the basic process, let me share some advanced tips to get even better results. Openart has a toggle called Preserve Key Features. And when enabled, the model will try harder to maintain key features like hairstyle and clothes. If you want your character to always wear the same outfit, keep this enabled. But if you want to be able to change their clothes while keeping their face consistent, turn it off. I tested this by generating a different version of Kai wearing a white tuxedo instead of his usual hacker look, and the face stayed spot on, just with a completely different vibe. Also, if you find that your character isn't consistent enough, try increasing the character weight slider, which tells the AI to prioritize your character's features over other aspects of the prompt. A higher weight will give you more consistency, but might make it harder to change certain aspects of your character. So find the balance that works for you. If you want your character in a specific pose, use Openart's pose editor, which lets you position a 3D model in the exact pose you want, and then the AI will generate your character in that pose. This is much more reliable than trying to describe complex poses in text, which the AI often misinterprets. When you're in the character creation mode, you'll see an option called Pose Your Character. When you click on that, you'll get this incredible 3D model that you can manipulate however you want. For our example with Kai, I'm going to select the arms slightly spread pose from the drop-down menu as a starting point. Now I can customize this pose exactly how I want. The control points on the 3D model allow complete customization of your character's pose. Once you've got your pose exactly how you want it, click Update Pose. Now Openart will generate what's called a depth map. This helps the AI understand exactly how your character should be positioned in the scene. Let me show you what happens when we generate this. So I'll write something like Kai hacking into a secure network, holographic displays surrounding him in a dark alley with neon lights, cyberpunk city in the background, cinematic lighting. And here's what it generated. You can clearly see that Kai is in exactly the pose we set up. It looks natural and dynamic, exactly like I designed it. This would have been nearly impossible to achieve just by describing it in text. And because Openart maintains your character's consistency, Kai still looks like Kai in every image, no matter what pose or scene we put him in. Another powerful feature is the Inpainting. Let's say you've already created a beautiful scene and now you want to add your character in it. It's actually super simple. Just select the area where you want your character to appear, type in a prompt that includes your character's name, and your character will be placed exactly where you want them in the scene. If you want to generate multiple consistent characters, I actually made a dedicated video about the multiple character feature, because it's so powerful and there's a lot more to cover. If you want to dive deeper into creating scenes with multiple characters, check out that video. I'll leave a link in the description below. I show you advanced techniques for character interactions, how to create dynamic group scenes, and even how to animate multiple characters together. Now we're actually going to bring Kai to life using Openart's integration with Kling 1.6. Once you've generated an image that you're happy with, you'll see this image to video option right here at the top. This is actually Openart's direct integration with Kling 1.6, which is currently one of the most advanced AI video generation models. But there are a bunch of other options in case you want to try them out. I'll use the image of Kai hacking into the secure network. Now if you click on image to video, you'll see a prompt box appear. Here's what I'll type in. Camera slowly circles around the character, holographic displays flicker and pulse with data. Neon lights reflect off the visor, smooth cinematic movement. The key here is to be specific about the type of movement you want. And as you can see, this is absolutely insane. We've just turned our static image into a fully animated scene. If you've been struggling with character consistency using AI, I highly recommend giving Openart a try. It's changed my workflow completely and saved me countless hours of frustration. If you want to try this out for yourself, I'll leave a link in the description down below. Trust me, having a tool like this is absolutely game-changing. It's going to save you so much time while giving you professional level results. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.